podcast joint with Ciara.
Yo, what the deal? This is T Money, and you are now watching the T Money podcast joint featuring Ciara Ross.
Ew.
That's better. You said Al. Yo, what's the deal? Yo, we have a very special guest today, and we've been blessed with having special guests this week. I want to say this is my man, 50 Grand, Large in charge in the building. My man, Large Professor.
Yes.
In the building.
Salute,
sir. Salute. How you doing there, good buddy?
Good. We here, man. We here in the building.
And on the check-in, my man, Large Professor, man. We fight every night, but that's not kosher.
Word up. It ain't kosher.
That's what it is. What's going on, bro? How you doing?
Everything's good, man. Just working, traveling, doing what we do.
Life
you know,
of a
we
legend.
doing shows. You know, yeah.
Yo, the joint that I was just saying we fight every night and that's not kosher. Those is 90s bars. Like people don't even really understand that those are 90s bars. You know what I mean? So I mean, listen, and I love this dude, man, because he made it really popular. Well, actually, DMC made it popular, but he made it super cool to wear glasses as a rapper.
Word. Shout out to Clark Kent too. Shout out to DJ Clark Kent.
That's right. So that's my man
Word
Clark
up.
too. Always my dude Clark, man. So talk to us, man. What's been going on? I mean, I saw you a couple nights ago.
We got Polygon on the stage.
No doubt.
Man.
And you were
They
still
left the girl, but it's all right. We'll catch them on the next trip.
No, we had girls in there too.
I'm talking about me.
Okay,
you
but
were,
I mean,
you were OT.
We had girls in there
You
too.
were OT.
Hey, the excuses, but
You were
carry on,
not
fellas.
here. Well, listen.
Carry on, fellas.
So we were hanging out, and you were on stage. I mean, you spitting that raw as usual, man.
Yeah, for sure, man.
But let's take it back a little bit before we even get into that. And our audience who listens, I mean, a lot of people don't necessarily know who a lot of the people that come on this show is. So we try to talk about your beginnings and how you started in this business, and you know, it kind of educates me too because I don't necessarily know everything. So so talk to me a little bit about how you started. You know, I know you represent Queens to the fullest.
Yeah.
But you weren't born in Queens. You were born in Harlem, right?
Harlem,
New York.
Who is Large Professor?
Large Professor,
So
yeah,
talk to us.
exactly.
So,
That was my beginning. I was born in Harlem, New York. So, and then I mean they were in Queens, so I was shipped straight to Queens from birth, and I came up in Flushing, Queens, where the Unisphere is, where they do the tennis matches and everything like that. So we was amongst like that Olympic energy, like them, you know, the tennis matches and all of that kind of stuff. So we was you know, just dudes just out trying our hand at everything that came our way, you know, whether it was riding bikes, skateboards, breaking, graffiti, whatever it was, like we was trying our hand at it. You know, we just had like that spirit of just trying our hand at it and competitive. You know, some of them are competitive, you know, just young dudes coming up like that.
Right.
Now, before we get into the nitty gritty of course, your journey, how did you get the name Large Professor? Because I believe you went to a particular group of individual, a pair, and request approval.
Oh, not at all. Because I've been being named all my life and so, you know, there come a time in life where it's like, yo, you know, I want to pick, you know, like, there's a time in life where your family is given to you, and there's a time in life where you choose your family. Like, you know, like, yo, this person been there, like, they not blood, you know, but they been there a lot, and so they family too. So there was a time in my life where it was like, yo, I feel like I want to put myself out there as Large Professor. I mean, it was some shit talking shit on the mic. You know, it was, yo, the supreme Large Professor on the mic type shit, but, you know, I just kept running with that, and then, you know, it had all the twists and turns with the LP, Large Pro, you know, extra.
But didn't you have to get your dad's permission or approval or something like that?
What my father said to me one day, he was chilling. He was on the terrace. He was like, "Yo," he said, "Large Professor." He was like, "Man, that's a big name, man." He was like, "Yo, you ready, man?" I was like, "Yeah." You know, because I'm energetic. I got the energy for that, and I'm showing and proving. You know what I'm saying? Like I come from, I consider myself a Catholic, 5% Christian. You know, so I came up in Catholicism, and then I chose for myself 5%. I went out to the brothers. I was like, yo, my enlightener and everything like that. So I was Prince Infinite Loverlaw. And then when I was, you know, I found, you know, start studying Jesus and things like that. I was like, all right, you know, but before that I was Large Professor, you know, and that came from 5% Nation, just, you know, brothers exalting themselves. You know, we've been called niggas and slaves and all of that. Like, nah, Large Professor, you know, I come from Carlisle, like, so, you know, we protected, like, our community. So I could go on for days with that.
That's facts.
With how prideful I am
No
about,
doubt.
you know, so, you know, but yeah, that's where that comes
As
from.
you should be,
Just
bro.
a whole lot of pride,
No
a whole
question.
lot of people in my family who, you know, I consider like great minds, and just, you know, me just, you know, falling in line and put myself out there, but putting the work in too.
Because you started at such a young age.
Exactly.
So how did you find your niche?
I
How did
mean,
you know?
my thing was I was skill based from the start. So I felt my skills no matter what. Like, you know, I didn't know the industry was so image based and other things. You know, I just thought it was a skill thing. Like, I heard like dudes like Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince, and I'm like, man, these guys' skills is phenomenal. Like, all right, I know we could do a little something ourselves. Like, and so once I get in, you know, start seeing, so that's what I, you know, but skill based was what I was. So I know my skills, like on how I made my beats, how I was DJing. I know I could speak. I could go out there and speak.
And you're very
sure.
confident on making sure that you don't put out no bull-ish.
Exactly, for sure. Now we're gonna keep the gate strong, for sure, for sure.
So as a producer, you found your niche early, apparently. You know what I mean? And you knew exactly, because honestly, your discography reads like a who's who. You know, I mean, you obviously worked with Main Source, your group. You know,
Absolutely.
You work with Nas, you work with Organized Confusion, you
Tribe
work
Called
with Tribe
Quest.
Called Quest,
Yeah.
you work with Lord Finesse, my dog. You work
Man,
with Pete Rock.
boss.
You know what I
Yes.
mean? You work with PE even. You
Yeah,
did a joint with them.
word,
You know,
Eric B and Rakim,
you know, and you know. And you did great records, man. You know,
Damn, my heart is like
you know what I'm
beating
saying?
hard right now. I'm
Yeah.
like, yo, all the greats.
Yeah,
Yeah,
your energy,
Nas.
and you can tell with
Yeah.
your energy. You know, I'm completely feeling that. That's why that's an important part why I wanted to interview you today. But the main Source as a group, you know, you had K Cut, right?
Right.
And Sir Scratch, and you guys got together. How'd you guys link up? Like, I mean, I know they're not even from here. They're from Canada, right?
Yeah, for sure. So that was a high school thing. Those guys were in high school. We were all in high school together. And so after school, it was our hobby to go over each other's houses and bring the records over, cut up the ultimate break beats, you know, shout out Breakbeat Lou. You know, so that was that time.
doubt,
you know,
no
we
doubt.
was cutting up the ultimate break beats. And boom, you know, we just tried our hand. People, you know, we reading the record labels. We like, yo, that's the studio. You know, after a while, I stopped DJing. I was like, all right, because I was rhyming already. It's like, I'll write some rhymes or whatever, you know. Came up with some concepts. We started going in the studio, started putting it down, you know, and just trying our hand at it. And people liked it, you know.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
we like, yo, you know, see if we could get something on the radio or something like that. You know, it's just a natural progression of brothers, you know, trying their hand at, you know, so that's all that was.
Right, and you worked at it and put it together, and then you guys pieced it together, and then you know you.
But it started like as a high school hobby thing.
Right.
You know, dudes was going over the crib like just DJing for hours. And it's like, yo, man, you know, we gotta start like formulating this, like making some beats and putting some rhymes and some songs
Like
together.
you'd be surprised at how many rap groups or rappers
Started
in high school.
Yeah.
You know, and they got together and they did their thing in high
That's
school.
because before bills, you got
Yeah,
time
right,
before bills.
exactly. And hip hop is a youthful, you know, so yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no question. So yeah, man. So Main Source. Now we talking the '90s, right?
Yeah.
We're talking, and you guys came out with such great hits, man. Let me tell you something. You were on Wild Pitch, right? Wild
Wild
Pitch
Pitch
EMI,
Records.
and Wild Pitch EMI had so many artists on that label.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Some solid dudes. They had a solid roster.
In the '90s, they had solid was understatement. They had
Chill Rob G.
Chill Rob G. They had Super Lover C, Casanova Rudd. They
La
had
T.
They had Lord Finesse, La T.
Gangstar.
Yeah, they had Ultramagnetic was on there at one point. Gangstar,
The Cool.
right. Yeah.
Entice.
They had Entice,
Yeah.
Salute Entice. They had a lot of dope artists in the '90s. In the '90s,
Solid.
they had a lot of hits.
Yeah.
You know, and Main Source stood out. You know, along with a couple other groups, right? So
Absolutely.
but their songs, and just to keep it 100, their songs, looking at the front door, just hanging out, they were part of the whole fabric of that time period. When I got on Yo MTV Raps during that whole time period, we were actually programming songs. A lot of the artists from Wild Pitch we used to formulate our shows, and Main Source was one of them. But it wasn't about us playing the video. It was about what they did in the street before we even listened, before we even knew
the video
about
got to you.
Before the video got to us to do anything with. There was a club called The Building. I think we were discussing it before the show started. And that club was like emblematic of how everything was coming together in the 90s for all these rappers. And you know what was great about the 90s, unlike the 2000s and now, right? Artists that would come out, it would come out every week, every 2 weeks. There were new artists, somebody new, a new producer, new songs, right? And nobody sounded like anybody else. Everybody was different. You know, everybody had their own vibe, you know, and everybody came out and it was special. And like these songs just took off, and the business was totally different because the DJs like Red Alert, Chuck Chill Out, all the radio stations, they had mixed shows and they were playing all this music, and the music grew up, you know.
A fan base.
It was very progressive and it moved very fast, and Main Source was part of that. So I wanted to ask you, and I know you being part of all that energy. How did you guys feel about your growth during that time? Like, you know, I know you did shows, and I mean, it didn't seem like it was an overnight thing. You know, 'cause I know you guys really worked hard at it.
Yeah, it was definitely a process, but it wasn't like we mulled over it for like decades. Like it was like a 2, 3, 4 year process.
Right.
And you know, we had the skills to pay the bills, so the stuff we was coming up with, people liked, and that's all it takes. Right. You know, it's just to make something that people gonna rock with. Is it entertaining? And it was entertaining, and people bought it.
Right.
Well, let's talk about one of the singles that you guys had out about people purchasing and supporting, which was great. But some of your fans have questions. You have a video out, just hanging.
Yeah, just hanging out.
What happened in the Live at the Barbecue video? Why we didn't finish shooting that? Nas was already in the video.
Yeah.
Wait, what's going on?
Well, I mean, shout out to Uncle Ralph McDaniels. He was on that video. And the beauty of that video was he had kind of delegated that to Hype Williams. So that's one of Hype Williams' first videos that he oversaw. You know, so that was cool working with Hype. But, you know, they just had that idea where, you know, because dudes was always, they were starting to do 2-part videos where you have a little flash of one song and then it go into the other one. So they just, you know, that was enough for that, you know, but we should have definitely, and maybe, you know, the thing about it is, you know, Godspeed, you know, we might even still get that, you know, with people in they like true, like full body character now, you know, Nas being paid up, you know, Ock being Mr. Put It In Your Mouth, you know, Large Pro, being a scientist, you know what I mean, you know, yeah, so it'd be all right, so, you know, it's more to come.
Phenomenal work.
Thank you.
And also, I just want to just ask you a personal question. If given an opportunity, because of course the game has changed, if you could work with anybody today, who would you work with?
Travis Scott.
Yes.
Oh, no question.
Yeah.
Yes.
That'll be, that's a great, listen, you heard that? Travis, I'm trying to holler at you, bro. My man, Large Pro, want to work with you, man. This is,
you
know what I mean?
A great artist. He's just a great artist. Like, he ain't about all that extracurricular shit. Like, his art, you know what I mean? Like, his art, definitely. I rock with Travis Scott. Word.
Now, how do you seek out their ear? Because I know some people have different methods of just finding inspiration. Some use underneath a track bar. Some people use meditation. How do you find that next sensation or beat or, like you said, artist? How do you find that particular person?
Well, for me, it's different because it's a daily, like Gangstar said, it's a daily operation. So it's something that I do daily, and I'm still thriving off of the roots of this. So it's different for me. Like, I ain't chasing the industry or nothing like that. I ain't chasing the new sound, the trend or whatever. I'm just thriving off of the root of what we've been doing and just staying in my lane, doing what we do. And I'm traveling. I'm, you know, doing my Instagram thing. We feeding the community with all, you know, so it's a different mission for me, and I love it. I love the mission that I'm on, for real. It's nice.
Well, sir, can we play a game of Reminisce, if
Please.
you don't mind?
Please, absolutely, please.
So let's reminisce, and you can pick whichever one you like, because you help
I
produce.
reminisce with Bliss. Yeah.
Okay, that's right. That's right.
I reminisce with Bliss.
That's right.
Yeah.
With Nas, so you, of course, help it ain't hard to tell.
Yeah.
And you're the man.
Yeah.
Reminisce between those two. How was that working with that project? How was that experience?
Oh, wow. Well, it ain't hard to tell. It was beautiful because Nas, he started on Live at the Barbecue, which was a main source song.
Mm-hmm.
So that was him being featured on another group's song. So now it ain't hard to tell. This was Nas doing Nas now. And
it was actually Nasty Nas.
Yeah,
right?
it was Nasty Nas. I think when Ain't Hard to Tell, I think halftime was Nasty Nas, but then when it Ain't Hard to Tell, they had broke it down to Nas. Mm-hmm. But it was just good to see him bossing up, you know, and now he had his own lane that he was able to create and, you know, do what he wanted to with it. And
salute to Faith Newman.
Absolutely, word. Faith Newman, you know what I'm saying? She always checked for us. Like, you know, I did mad remixes, like, through Faith and everything, big up. And You're the Man, it was a beautiful thing because it was like a full circle thing. This was Nas now after a lot of money, after a lot of shows, after, you know, everything. And just him still being an extreme hip-hop head that he is, like, Nas can recite you lyrics, like, from, like, Gangstar records. Like, he knows the whole verse. Like, that guy's a hip-hop head. So, like, to see him still have his hip-hop and for us to still be able to create fire, you know, after going through, like, all the ups and downs and highs and lows of the industry and still have that core, right, is a beautiful thing. So that, you know, you're the man. He that's him. You're the man. Word, Nas is the man.
Okay, that's what's up.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah. So let me ask you about main source real quick too. So I was talking in regards to you guys being on Wild Pitch. At some point, you know, you guys are no longer there. So what transpired? Like, did the label fold? Were you?
Yeah, well, the group split. You know, we had different interests. You know, the guys wanted to go that way. I wanted to go that way. You know, and that's all. You know, just different interests. It was cool. They went on, and then they inducted Mikey D into the group. Right. You know, the second album that they had.
Salute to my boy Mikey D, man.
Absolutely, that boy is a lyrical.
That's one of my guys,
king.
Right there. Yeah, no question.
A lyrical king, and actually, the second main source album is the first Lox record. The first record that you'll hear the Lox on. They got a joint called "Set It Off," and you know, so them guys, you know, they kept it moving, and then I went on to a solo career where I got a couple of notable joints. You know, like some of those I performed that night at Polygon. Right. You know, that people know me for, and you know, it's a more, you know, I consider myself a blues rapper. You know what I mean? It's like I always like kind of clung to like. I don't know something about it. Like, that's my roots.
Like,
I know.
You're nostalgic and you go back to the old school stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, I noticed that when we were talking a little earlier, or this is off camera, by the way. And, you know, I liked your energy because you talk about things like you're knowledgeable about a lot of hip-hop, the roots. The roots. Especially about my past.
Yeah,
man, I'm sitting there and I was like, huh? And to me, that tells me a lot about you.
All that original content. Now, I was just telling you, man. Like I just got a double of Biting My Styley the other day. That was the second single, right?
That's true. That's the B-side.
Original concept joint.
Question.
And I've been had doubles of Knowledge Me.
Oh, wow.
Or I remember how that used to ring. You know, I told you I was out in Long Island. I was in a group home.
Facts.
When all of that was starting to ring, I was in Lakeview.
Right.
You know, so I was amongst that energy, man.
You told me Rebel Without a Pause came out.
Rebel, man, when Rebel came out, that's right when I was getting ready to break out, man. Like BDP had just popped out again. Like everything was crazy. Like musically, like for our generation, it was bananas. Like you had BDP, like L.I. was coming out crazy because then you had JVC. That was ringing so crazy. Like
it gave Long Island its name, Strong Island.
Yeah, Sugar Bear was out there that don't scandalize mine. Like, yo, crazy.
Yeah, we took Sugar Bear out on tour. I was telling Kate earlier that we had Latifah and Sugar Bear was on that same tour actually.
Oh, that's crazy. It's you know, boom, one drop. Like, yo, that's crazy. Like. So I was amongst that energy, man.
Yeah, but see, but my point is, your emblem, you kind of personify. when I speak to you, you personify the energy of those times, because those times that it's not.
It's still alive.
You know, and I never want to act like
you too though. You personify that energy too, man.
I so appreciate you. I so appreciate you saying that. But what I'm saying to you is this: I don't want to sound like the old man in the room. Like you know what I used to hate when I was younger. Be like, yo, you know, you young whippersnappers don't know what you're talking about, blah blah blah. Because it used to be like, you know, back in the day with James Brown. I said, listen, man, I'm not James Brown, and I'm not like, no disrespect to James Brown. God rest his dead. But my thing is, I don't want to be that guy. But I'm trying to find the energy, the same energy that I had then. Now I don't. The energy to me is not. It's not the same to me.
No, it's not.
And maybe I'm tripping. Maybe somebody to check me. Look at YouTube. You can say what you want to on this show. Make your comments real clear. Tell me if I'm tripping, because I don't. The energy of the '90s is crazy. I mean, listen. We're talking about early '90s.
You had heart,
it was just an alignment, though.
Like,
it was just an alignment of the times.
Right.
Just everything was in alignment, and you know, I was on some playlists before iTunes and all of that. Like I've been listening to the same records. That's why I'm saying, like, Knowledge Me, all them staple records. Like we draw for them joints. Like we draw. I draw. I could go back to that time, like Sucker MCs. I could go back to that time when
Orange Crush and Run DMC.
Orange Crush, yeah, exactly. I remember where I was, like, when I heard it first. So it's different for me with music. Yeah, it's different for me.
And can we just go back in time for a second? Because I want to see if this still has relevance to today. You created a song called Faking the Funk.
Mm-hmm.
As far as how today is and how the society works.
Talking that extra hard stuff, you're probably a punk.
Right. Right.
Do you think that should be in heavy rotation today and it's still relevant?
All Faking the Funk was, you know, you got a lot of guys who go out here and they go in the studio and they talk reckless. They talk so crazy reckless in the studio. And, like, I'm a guy, I'm in the streets. Like, you know what I mean? Really, like, I seen you in Polygon. We was there talking, building. And it was all love. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't no, yo, nigga, I'll cut you out of that. None of that. You know what I'm saying? It was none of that. But you got these guys that, you know, they go in the studio, they saying all of that, but then when you see them, it be like, oh, and it's like, oh, man, stop faking the funk. It just show love, man. Show love. Like, you know what I'm saying? All that faking the funk shit, man. Like going in the studio and hiding, saying all this wild shit, and then hiding. You ain't out in the street. You ain't giving nobody that. Exactly. Like, yo, you ain't seeing what the new generation is talking about. Like, they ain't giving you no dap. They ain't looking up to you. Like, you just in the studio saying some foul shit and then skating off and trying to get out of here, man. That's faking the funk, man.
And the beauty of Faking the Funk, it was featured also on White Man Can't Jump.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, and that right there was monumental for that time. So, again, shout out and salute to you because your message...
Oh man, Nike! Remember them kicks Nikes was coming out with around them times? Oh my God!
Yep, no question.
Word. Oh my God, those is the authentic joints. Right
no
there,
question.
Sure.
No question.
Yeah.
So that's the end. See that in itself. See how everybody's so excited. There's always smiles on your face.
Yeah, hip hop, man. The authenticity we brought to the. Me and my man, Lord Ness.
How did that even come about? How did you get it on White Man Can't Jump? Because a lot of the audience don't know that.
It was just a lot. Like they was really taking note to us. Like we had already done the Boys in the Hood soundtrack. All types of things was coming our way, and we was living up. Like we was meeting and so they came with that, and we was just lived up.
Okay.
Or it came with
Sorry to cut you off. I need
the
audience to know how that transpired.
We be needing to know.
Yeah, no question. So what you doing? What are you doing today? Moving forward, what are I'm
gonna tell you again, man. Just working and traveling and.
Listen to me. Your production is disgusting. I mean, honestly, let me tell you something.
In a good way, y'all.
No, not in a negative way. You never, always respect. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, when I say disgusting, I mean it's so catastrophically incredible that.
Appreciate you, bro.
That you have to. Let me tell you something, man.
Hip hop, man.
Look at my hand. See that? That's a salute.
Straight up.
Because that's real talk, man. This guy is not a game. He's got a game. So I can line real talk. I can line Large Pro up with any of the producers that you name.
Yeah.
I'm talking from the Dre, I'm talking from Timbaland, I'm talking from
Let's go.
any of them. You know what I mean?
Go.
Salute to Primo too, by the way.
Absolutely.
You know
That's
he was
my
part
bro.
of this era, and he did this thing as well.
3, 2, 1, bro.
I saw something on this man that he wound up going to the record store blindfold, picked out some 3 different albums, and then master cut it up and made beautiful music. This man is the truth.
Yeah,
okay?
for sure. On camera, on site,
all day,
on site. All right, thank you so much.
So we're singing your praises in regards to this, but I know that there were times. I mean, and we all had them. I mean, I had them from a TV and you know, even music end too, where you run into. You know, you run into tower moments. You have moments. Yeah. So what did you do during those times? I mean, I know everything wasn't all like, you know, peachy keen and you know.
You just go back to the hood, go back to the love. You know what I mean? The industry, it ain't for everybody.
Yep. Yeah.
You know, so you know you may dibble dabble in it and see how far you want to take it.
Right.
But after a while, you know, like for me, I start seeing. I'm like, oh man, I'm compromising, man. Look at this. Nah, this some bullshit, man. We could go out in the streets, man, and do what we got to do. And once I realized that, you know, we was good. Like, you know, I don't feel no type of way. Like, I found my way myself. I got mad songs talking about the industry, talking about all this and all that. I'm like, man, I feel like mad at myself for even letting that shit get to me like that. Like, I should have been known to skate off from that bullshit. Like, them people is bullshit.
Right,
like, you know, that shit is just an extension of slavery.
Yo, listen, everybody in this business is not your friend. I told C the other night, we had a conversation on the phone.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, I don't even like half of you. I don't even like half of you.
Nah, I mean,
you know,
you
guys are so phony, it's ridiculous. You know what I mean? So it's what it is. And sometimes you just got to go through it. But I mean, if
I met some good people through the industry, man, but I just hate that the industry made them do things that they had to compromise themselves and
So
our friendship and shit. Like, exactly. And it's like, yo, nah, that ain't where I want to go, and I don't want to stand next to nobody like that. You know what I'm saying? For real. I try to keep my integrity with that type of, you know, like for real.
Because you only have one you.
Absolutely.
Nobody can be you but
you. That's right.
For real.
That's right. That you only got one you. You compromise that, you sell yourself. You know
and
what I mean?
how does someone in this industry, just from your personal experience and journey, how do someone sustain longevity? Or I should say, how have you sustained longevity?
Well, I mean, just sticking to the roots. Like I've been saying, like I just stick to the roots. It's just like you go to New Orleans and you hear Zydeco, and them people don't care who's selling, who's not. Them people just cutting loose, doing their thing that they tradition. You know, so I go uptown, I go to the Park Jam, I go to Katona Park with Grandmaster Kaz and them, and I cut loose. That's our tradition. You know what I'm saying? The money is all over. You know what I mean? Hip hop is 50 years old now. Like the money is all over. We good. All that having to, you know, so you know, and I'm 20 plus in this industry. So you know,
comfortably.
Really, really, really. Thanks to my family and my friends, you know what I mean? Absolutely comfortably. So, you know, we good. You know, I ain't got to charge, like, I ain't got to say to T-Money, like, oh, word, you doing the podcast, I'm going to need $1 million. You know what I'm saying? It's like, nah, bro. Nah, I'll be there. You know what I'm saying? And we going to come through. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's that shit I ain't like about the industry. You know what I'm saying? I start seeing brothers that I came up with, and now they need this and they need, you know what I mean? I don't want to keep, you know, blah, 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 shit like that.
I do this podcast, like I was telling a couple other guests. We do it because I love what I do.
Word,
you know what I'm saying? I mean, I've been in the music
man.
business since I was 18 years old.
Yeah,
you know
man.
So I don't really do it because I'm trying to prove something to you. You know what I'm saying?
Just on the strength, man.
You know what I mean?
Just the music,
I'm loving it.
The music you put out, and just your on screen appearance, man, was so inspiring to me, man. The whole time, it's still to this day, man.
I tell them the same thing.
Big time inspiration, man.
I appreciate
For real,
you.
clean brother, man, upright, chilling, man, a little bit of fun, chilling. You know what I mean? Hip hop fun. You know what I mean?
I appreciate you, bro.
Man, good bread.
Yeah,
man.
we did that on TV. We brought your own TV raps to the world.
Word, man.
I mean,
Word.
you know, hip
Fly
hop
brothers too, man.
Hip hop
Clean,
existed
chilling.
before we got there.
Yeah.
But we brought it to the world, bro.
Yeah.
People
clean.
People started actually putting up posters of hip hop people, you know, Ice-T, LL Cool J, all these people, because they felt accepted, in different countries. We opened MTV Japan. We were all in Europe.
Man,
I mean MTV. I mean, music never had a
Yo, it was all down in Miami Beach.
Like a resource like that somebody can come on the TV in a different country and watch what was going on in Georgia, watch what was going on here in New York, in Detroit, in LA. It just didn't exist before we got on. You know what I'm saying? And more importantly, what was the fun part about this, P, right? Is the fact that I'm able, in myself and Dre and Ed, were able to program what we felt was hot here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why we put Main Source out. We put Gangsta out. We put and
Chubb Rock.
Chubb Rock. And I don't think a lot of people understand, because I know we use the vehicle of MTV, but I don't think they really understood that we programmed the show, because the higher ups at MTV didn't know nothing about hip hop or music. We did that ourselves.
Yeah.
You understand? That's a whole other story. When Vanilla Ice hit the scene, things changed.
Yeah.
But we'll discuss that another time. But yo, P, man, real talk, man. I appreciate you being here today, man, because this is special to me.
And before we
absolutely same here, brother.
Before we let you get out of here, I just want to ask you, I guess, a futuristic question, but I know that it will help today's society or just artists. So you know that today we're dealing with artificial intelligence. How do you feel that is affecting your craft or future crafters, musicians? Like, how do you work with that? Do you think that it's hindering or helping?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I mean, if someone's creative with it and they could stamp their name on it and put their face on it, then it's a great thing. But if someone's faking the funk and using it on some foul, trying to like put someone or like trying to put somebody image over something or something like that, that's coward shit. Like that's that's
very dangerous too.
Yeah,
man.
stay off that lane. Like that lane goes to hell right there. Like that shit you gotta live with yourself with that shit. Like use that shit for some creative, like and put your face out there. Let them know that you did it. Like put your Instagram on there. Like don't hide behind no shit. Like if you're using it the right way, you should be able to stand with it. Like, don't hide behind no shit and be no coward, for real, with none of that shit.
And stuff like that.
With Instagram with none of that
shit. They try to
shit,
corrupt it, and it's horrible. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so hopefully that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Someone said to me the other day, when you could use that kind of technology for the good or bad. And if, say, for instance, it's hypothetical, somebody takes your voice,
I heard about that,
and then uses it to like call your daughter's school. So,
exactly.
Say,
something. But that's what I'm
crazy,
talking about. That's what I'm categorizing as that coward shit, man. That's like, yo, what you doing messing with that person's life? Like, you ain't got no life of your own. You ain't got shit to do.
I even heard something recently with Michael Jackson going over Snoop Dogg situation. I'm
but
like,
see, it's funny.
Come on now.
It's funny because it's like that type of thing is just the imagination. It's like, wow, it's like a what if, and it's harmless. But like with your example, what you talking about, like somebody calling somebody school or something like that. It's like, yo, man, what you doing? You ain't got nothing to do with yourself. Like, what you doing with somebody? So that's all I'll be talking about with that, man. It's like, yo, we got shit to do out here. Like, ain't no time to be out here messing with nobody else's life and all that. Yeah, shit is stupid.
Absolutely.
Faking the funk, talking that extra hard. You're probably a punk. Yo, salute, my man.
Messing around on Instagram.
Where can they find you? Where can your new fans, old fans, current fans, where can they find you?
Let them know where to find you, bro.
At XP Large Pro. I really concentrate. We got all these different social medias, but I really concentrate on Instagram. I don't try to spread it too thin. Like, I put my DJ videos up there, just try to feed the community like some good music outside of the regular playlist that the radio give us.
Okay.
And just do what we do, and just keep it funky, hip hop. I seen you at Polygon, we keep it funky. You was like, yo, P, come
y'all
through.
Just keep reminding me, y'all left me.
Yo, we was chilling.
Here you go.
We
was chilling. We was chilling.
Somebody come get
it. Was raining, but we was under the canopy park. Red Alert was there.
They ain't even called
my
me.
man DK tore it down.
You wasn't here.
It was nice. Yo, and they was celebrating Tony Rock's birthday.
Oh, no doubt. And my man Big Jeff, he was in the building too.
All these people.
Word, Big
y'all
Jeff
know me.
birthday.
Call me.
Word,
Zulu
it
in
was
the
lit.
building.
Word, New York, NY.
Yo, listen, man. Large Pro in the building.
Word up.
T-Money in the building. Ciara Ross.
Ciara.
We out of here, man. Thank you so much for your time,
Queens
baby.
Lounge.
My man.
Peace and blessings.
Wrap that up, son.
Word.
Respect,
Salute
baby.
to you, sir.
Salute, baby.
T-Money Podcast joint featuring Ciara Ross, and we gone. Two fingers means peace, and we out.
Out. Like, share, subscribe, all that.
Money Podcast joint with Ciara.